Hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? What's it look like I'm doing? I'm reading here on the FMCSA website about hours of service. Yeah? Hours of service? Oh, why don't you tell me all about it? All right then. Sit down. I'll tell you all about it. Yeah! Yeah, man! It's a little up close and personal. Alright, guys. Talking about it. It's a trending topic. Hours of service, the new ELD mandate, the whole big shenanigans going on right now with, Operation Black and Blue and all this stuff going on, okay? The point of this video is to break it down into one of the most important things that is going to happen with ELDs and how it's all going to play a part and become a determining factor on if the FMCSA makes changes or not. We're going to talk about hours of service and how they can affect the drivers and how they are going to affect the shippers and receivers. We're going to talk about one key factor here. Coming up here in about 2 weeks from November 6th through the 13th, we're calling it #RunItLegal. Now, let's talk about that for a minute. Let's talk about, I got paper logs, I can do whatever I want, or I'm on electronic logs, I can't really, cheat the system. Or can you? Or have you been this whole time and you didn't even know it? Here's the thing. When you go to your shipper or receiver, are you logging on duty time while you're backed in the dock? Or are you only logging 10 minutes or so until you hit the dock? Are you logging on duty time while fueling? Are you logging on duty time while scaling? I'm going to show you what the mandate says. Alright, you guys, I'm showing you this right off the FMCSA website. It says right here, on duty time means all time from the time a driver begins to work or is required to be in readiness to work until the time the driver is relieved from work and all responsibilities for performing work. On-duty time shall include all time at a plant, terminal, facility, or other property of a motor carrier or shipper or on any public property waiting to be dispatched unless the driver has been relieved from duty by the motor carrier. All time inspecting, servicing, or conditioning any commercial motor vehicle at any time. All driving time as defined in the term driving time. All time in or on a commercial vehicle other than. Time spent resting in or on a parked vehicle except as otherwise provided in 397.5 of this subchapter. All time loading or unloading a commercial motor vehicle, supervising or assisting in the loading or unloading, attending a commercial motor vehicle being loaded or unloaded. All time repairing, obtaining assistance. All time spent providing a breath sample or urine specimen must be logged as on-duty time. Performing any other work in capacity, employ, or service of a motor carrier. As you can see, the list goes on a little bit more. I mean, those are the basics of this section, okay? So with that being said, are you really running 100% legal? Are you logging everything the right way? I know I haven't been. So I ask you guys this. On November 6th through the 13th, the whole week, run legally. And the reason why I'm telling you to do that is because of this. With the new mandate coming out and all of these changes happening, we need to show the shippers and receivers what the rules are as well. They need to understand what the rules mean. See, because a lot of times shippers and receivers play by their own rules, you see. And you'll have an appointment time to get loaded or unloaded, and you'll sit there for hours on end worrying about detention pay and layover pay or whatever. And you'll be stuck for hours. And there's lots of times in my case, and I know in many of your cases as well, where you've ran out of hours at the shipper or receiver. And then after you're done being unloaded or loaded, the shipper or said receiver was like, well, you can't stay on the property. Well, hey, I'm out of hours. Well, sorry, you can't stay on the property. Well, then you should have loaded me or unloaded me when my appointment time was. Now, I know there's going to be a little bit of breakdown of communication in certain situations. Certain things may happen. Somebody might call out of work and throw the whole plant into disarray. Things happen. Main thing is communication. Number 2 is understanding the rules and being sympathetic to the driver in these situations, because, hey, if you're out of hours, you're out of hours. Oh, well, you can't stay on the property. I'm out of hours. Legally, you're not supposed to drive that vehicle. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to read an email that I got from a good friend of mine that will really hit the nerve, okay? He couldn't have written it any better. This is awesome. The looming ELD mandate has created a lot of chatter on its effects its implementation will have on the industry. It also created a separate and more important discussion regarding hours of service regulations and the need for change. Unfortunately, all that's happened is chatter and lip service. Face it, protests are only good for column inches and sound bites, which is true. The fact is there is no real evidence available to support or contradict the claims made by either side regarding the impact of ELDs. What is needed is evidence obtained from the actual demonstration of what these regulations are doing to the industry and the impact that enforcement will have on the economy. Begin by focusing only on hours of service. The number of people who could intelligently argue that drivers are compliant with the hours of service regulations are fewer than the number of drivers who actually are fully compliant. And that's because most drivers know and take advantage of these loopholes in the rules. Being relatively new to the industry, I can say that most of us were trained on the loopholes. But what if we followed the rules? What would happen if drivers ran their trucks fully compliant with the regulations, sitting on duty for 8 hours while a truck is being loaded, which according to the rules we are required to do? Will cut into the driver's available drive time and cause a delay in the delivery. How many frozen turkeys would have been delivered late before Mr. Butterball called up his representative in Washington? How many late deliveries of iPhones and iPads would it take for Tim Cook to pick up the phone and start asking questions or consider a redistribution of his campaign contributions? I say we should find out. From now until December 18th, one of the busiest and consequential periods for the economy, I'm calling on all drivers, owner-operators, lease operators, and company drivers to become familiar with the regulations, not the loopholes, and run their trucks 100% compliant with them for at least one 70-hour period. The regulations can be found online, and they are also in that little green book that is supposed to be in your truck. It's not a protest, it's a demonstration for which there can be no retaliation. We are doing nothing more than complying with the rules of the game. rules that were developed, embraced, and enacted by a group of people who have probably never even been on the game field. Now think about this. If you follow the rules 100%, realistically, you would chew up your 70-hour clock in about 5 days and then have to take a reset. If you follow the rules 100%, there would be no way you'd be able to do an 8-day recap. Oh, I'm getting back hours, so I can keep driving. It'd be very hard to get recap hours back. So here's what we're asking you guys to do. If we follow the rules the right way, there's going to be a lot of drivers having to take resets. So how do we make a difference without causing a ruckus, without doing a protest, without blocking the roads? Let's run it legal for 1 week, November 6th through the 13th. And if you're at a shipper and or receiver and you're out of hours, you're out of hours. Stand your ground. Tell that shipper and or receiver, hey, I've been here for 6-7 hours and now I'm out of hours and you want me to leave? I can't leave. It's illegal for me to leave. I need a 10-hour break. Stand your ground. Make the shippers and receivers understand the rules as well. It's the only way we're going to make change, guys, if we do it the right way all the time. Now, yeah, some of you guys are going to be like, well, you know, that's going to affect my paycheck. We're only asking you to do it for 1 week so that we can show everybody that sits behind those big desks, hey, this is what it is. These are the things that need to change. The only way we're going to get change is if we band together like brothers and we stick together and enough of us do the same thing. It'll cause shockwaves in the industry. It'll cause shockwaves all the way to the top levels. I already know that there's a couple of big companies, big trucking companies, that are going to be getting involved with this. And I encourage you to get involved. Hell, even if you're running paper logs still, and you don't have your ELD yet, run legally that 1 week. 100% legal. Log your on-duty time for your pre-trip, fueling, scaling, loading and unloading, everything. Can you do it? I know you can. I know you probably don't want to, but it's what needs to be done. Think about it. Let's all get together and make a change. Let's make change happen. Let's force it to happen. The civil way.